Hey YouTube, once again, Zuler Official will be bringing you another video review. So today we'll be reviewing another Uncle Milton product, but this one's a little bit more unique and different from what I was expecting. So a couple days ago I heard that we were getting an ant farm, so I was extremely excited, but I was expecting those really thin rectangular pieces of, glass and plastic, where you put a bunch of sand in it and you just watch as the ants dig a hole through and, make their home there. But as you can see, this ant farm doesn't need sand. You can see that there's this weird kind of green gel. Now, what the ants are going to do is they will dig tunnels. And this green gel material is kind of like a food for them. So, you don't need to feed them, you don't need to add anything inside. Just watch as the ants dig a tunnel and make their home in this really unique ant farm. So, as you can already see, of course, the ant farm does come with the nice ant farm itself, with a rotating bottom and a magnifying cap. And I'll definitely explain why this has a magnifying cap, but I'll get into that later. We also have just a one-page, two-sided instruction manual with a couple of fun facts. For instance, the green gel was used by NASA, but unfortunately they don't use it anymore, so they just use it as the ants' food. The set doesn't come with ants. We did order these, so you have to check out the ants online. It does give you a couple of fun facts about your ants. You can learn a little bit more. And you have your starting tunnel or your tool. Now, this tool is just to start a hole for your ants so they can start building their tunnel. So right now, I'm going to be teaching you how to use the ant farm. So first, always read the instruction manual. The instruction manual is very important to get your ant farm started, so that in case, nothing goes wrong, you don't want to mess up your ants, escape the ant farm. So always want to read that first. Now, I do want to tell you, be careful when looking into the light. Don't mess around with the ant farm, don't tip it over or anything. Leave it the way it is after you put in your ants. And with your ants, what you want to do is, because it is translucent, you want to make sure that the ants are all at the bottom. So you might have to give it a couple of taps, just to make sure that all the ants are down here. Then you're going to want to open up the seal, and then you can just pour in your ants. And now, I want to demonstrate on how to get your tunnel started. So you want to measure out about 2 inches on the utensil. And what you want to do is you just want to take the utensil and poke it into the gel. Now, once it's gone about 2 inches down, you want to create small circles. Give it kind of like a tunnel type, feeling, so you want to roll it around a little bit. And then you want to do that on all 4 sides. Give it a little bit of a twirl. Just like so. And you're going to do that for all 4 sides. And I do not recommend touching and, of course, eating this gel. It does say on the instruction manuals that although this gel is non-toxic, so don't worry if you accidentally touch it, just go wash your hands, nothing's going to happen. But, of course, you do not want to eat this gel. Highlight, do not. So, I have my 4 tunnels started, and you can just clean up your utensil, which I will do later. You can just place on your cap, and whenever you order your ants and your ants come in, you can just place them in and you're ready to roll. Okay, so as you can see, I've left the ant farm out for maybe less than a week already. And you can already tell that the ants have started digging some tunnels. Now what I found was, a little funny, was that even though I did give them, the assists, like as you can see, I used my utensil to dig up some of the starter holes. The ants actually did not use the holes in the beginning. What I found was the ants actually started making their own hole, and when they started digging through, they would just go through the pre-made holes and they would just continue on from there. As you can see right here, there's this really long tunnel. As you could probably tell, that was my pre-made tunnel. And then, as you can see, the ants just built right under that. Actually, at first, the ants weren't doing anything. When you first put them inside of your ant farm, they'll just learn, they'll observe the environment and everything. If you give them a couple of hours, they will start digging, and right here, you'll notice this little kind of like, a beginning tunnel. That's what you'll see. And at first, it'll be, not very exciting to watch because the ants aren't really doing anything. But after day 1, and your ants have already started a tunnel, you'll start to see that they'll create more elaborate and very unique type of structures inside of your gel. So if you're patient, you just give it some time, if you let nature take its course, the ants will start digging their tunnels. I found that really, really cool. Although at first I was a little bit, impatient about the ants not digging any tunnels, but it was definitely worth the wait because the ants have made a very, very nice tunnel, and there are actually small kind of like rooms inside the tunnel. As you can see, there are like 3 entrance tunnels right here, and then inside you have this very big hollow room. And of course, if you do notice, the ants, what they do is they'll bite into the gel. So if you look on the very top, you'll notice that there's like that white stuff. Well, that clear white gel stuff is actually, of course, the green gel. What the ants do is they'll bite a hole or a circle around the gel, they'll pull it out, and they'll carry it all the way to the top, and they'll leave their gel in the center. Now, what happens is the ants do end up blocking the light. So what I did was, because this is, of course, their food, you don't want to throw it away. That'd be a waste. So what I ended up doing was I just took a spoon, and of course be really, really careful, scoop out some of the gel, and you can just leave it inside a plastic bag. In case the ants run low, this is their food, you could put it back in for them. So you don't have to throw it away, but if you do want to observe the ants under a bright light, for instance, leaving it on your wall, you would have to get rid of the gel. Or if you didn't want to put it in a plastic bag and you just wanted to leave it in there, you just all push the gel to the side. So other than that, the ant farm did have a very nice view. I did see the ants dig tunnels extremely well. It was very exciting to see how these ants built their home in a new environment. So, after seeing the ants dig a tunnel, let's see how the shadows and the super ant projection works. So as you can see, the ant farm did work very well. After I turned on the light, which is that button, of course, you saw that the ants did project onto the wall very nicely thanks to the of course, magnifying cap. So, overall, the ant farm did work very well. And because I was, expecting a different type of ant farm, I was really shocked to see that something like this, the ant farm with green gel instead of sand, came in. So when I did open up the ant farm, I was very shocked, but at the same time, after leaving the ants in their environment and letting them, of course, understand and grow, I was very pleased because of the fact that it's easy to maintain. First of all, you don't have to put any food in, and you don't, of course, have to poke any holes. The holes are right here. You'll notice that there are little slivers. Air can just get inside, and there is one on the other side as well. So the ant farm is very easy to maintain, and of course, very fun to watch. So if you're an ant lover, if you just enjoy playing with ant farms, if you just like watching them grow, watching the ants make their home in a new environment, then taking a look at the Uncle Milton Ant Farm is definitely recommended. Thank you for watching.